I've gotten a lot of time to spend with Alex Hormozi over the last year. The first time we met was well before he blew up on social media. I noticed that my editor on TikTok had started working with him, and I asked him to make us an introduction. From there, we hopped on a Zoom call and got to know each other, and I also found out that he was in Las Vegas, which made it pretty easy to meet up. After building a relationship, him and Leila came on the podcast, we had a really good time, and then they came and spoke at my last event, which brought down the house. They spent over 3 hours at the event giving their individual presentations, as well as doing a Q&A with me on stage. And the coolest part about all of it was they did it completely free. And I'm super appreciative of them, and I know their time is valuable. So every time I'm with them, I always try to take bits and pieces of things that I can learn. One of the biggest things that stands out to me about Alex is that he is one of the deepest thinkers I have ever met. There are a lot of great business leaders who can go through different concepts and topics, but I have yet to find any that can go as deep into a topic and to truly understand why something works the way it does. And I really believe that's Alex's biggest superpower that has led to his success. But some of the things he goes over are a lot more simple, and they're usually the biggest pieces of advice that he gives. Case in point, one of the biggest things I've learned from him is that number one, you need to just cut out the fluff and get to work. Too many people are spending times on things that just don't matter. Whether it's looking for the next ritual like a cold shower or an ice bath, or one of his most annoyed ones like making your bed.
I have not made my bed, and I've somehow still managed to make money.
None of those things really make you a better entrepreneur. They're really just fluff. What makes you a better entrepreneur is simply putting in the work. If you want to be a better real estate investor, then go and do the things that are going to help you get more deals and raise more money. If you want to be a better content creator, then go out and film more videos. If you want to be super jacked like he is, then go out and eat more food and lift more weights. You might have to go see a doctor too, but nonetheless, just put in more work and quit the fluff. Now, the second thing that Alex really drilled home into me was the concept of the opportunity vehicle. For example, if you're a level 10 entrepreneur, you can only go as far as the vehicle that you're in. So for me, I used to flip couches and make $8,000 a month. And even though that was a ton of money at the time, I soon realized that this opportunity vehicle had a cap. Maybe I could push it to 10,000, or if I got super creative, I might have been able to make 20,000 a month. But the reality was the opportunity of flipping couches was only so large. And I realized with house flipping, I could 10x what I was doing a month. Instead of capping out at 20,000, I could go get 4 to 6 house flips and make 200,000 a month. And we've even had months where we've made over $1 million flipping houses. So the opportunity was much larger. And I've since branched into other vehicles that are also large. I have a few different education companies now, which are actually a better opportunity vehicle than flipping houses. It's easier to go nationwide, it's easier to scale, there's less risk, and therefore it's just a better vehicle to be in with my skill set. And this is also why when you look at the top billionaires, you can see many of them are in tech companies. Tech is a very big vehicle you can be in that is super scalable. So the point is, no matter how good of an entrepreneur you are, if you're in the wrong vehicle, you can only go so far. And on the flip side, maybe you take an entrepreneur who's not even as good. Let's take a level 5 entrepreneur. Someone like this can outperform a level 10 entrepreneur if they're in the right vehicle at the right time. Case in point, I've met a lot of people who bought Bitcoin when it was less than $1,000. Now, these people were in the right place at the right time in the right opportunity vehicle. But I wouldn't say they're better entrepreneurs or investors than somebody else. But because they were in the right place at the right time, they ended up buying and they held it, and they were able to go make millions of dollars, even though they might not be the best entrepreneur. So this is something that I'm constantly thinking about. If I believe I'm a level 10 entrepreneur, then how do I get myself into bigger opportunity vehicles that have much more ability to scale and do bigger things? And if you look at my progression from flipping couches to flipping houses to education to now going into tech and raising money, you can see that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to move up the ladder of opportunity vehicles. This is actually part of the third thing I've picked up from him, that attention is the new oil. I've known for a while that social media was going to be really important, and that's why I started taking it seriously in 2020. But when I see how passionate he is about it, it gives me even more conviction that I need to be going harder on social media. I need to be innovating and finding ways to do it even better. And whatever you're trying to do as an entrepreneur, you can see that social media is going to be the way that you attract your potential customers, your employees, and the people who are going to help you reach your goals. When you look at his goal of growing acquisition.com into a $1 billion company, you can see that he's going to use social media heavily to attract different businesses that are going to apply to be acquired by them. And for me, we plan to do a lot of the same things through social media to grow our different businesses. And in fact, in just watching him, it's made me realize that we need to start looking to acquire businesses as well, So that's gonna be one of the big things that we focus on in 2023. No matter what your business is, you're gonna have to figure out how to get attention to build your community and your customer base. The fourth thing I picked up was more so from Leila, his wife. She did a big presentation at my event about hiring and finding talent. And right now we have a really good process for how we go about it at my company, but after listening to her presentation, I realized we can do it a lot better. And by the way, if you want to learn more about how I hire my employees, I did a podcast about it, so I'll link to that after this video. But what she made evidently clear during this presentation was that you've got to really focus on your marketing in order to hire the best candidates. As businesses, we're always thinking about marketing to get more customers, but how are we marketing to get more employees? Well, as it stands today for me, we just start to market on social media, we make posts, and we get a lot of applicants. But in order for us to grow and reach the next level, we need to tap into people who don't know who I am. A lot of these talented people are going to be from the corporate world who don't follow me because they don't want to be entrepreneurs or investors. They simply want to climb the ladder at corporate America. And as we get more structured and bigger, those are exactly the kinds of people we're going to need with experience. And so one of the things we're doing is hiring a recruiter to help us with this process. The fifth thing that I picked up from them is that success is boring. If you work day in and day out at the one thing that you're doing really well for your business, over time, you're going to get better and it's going to compound. It'll be really boring, but 20 years from now, you're gonna look up and see how much you accomplished. Success doesn't happen overnight, and it definitely doesn't happen from doing a little bit of a bunch of different things. It happens from focusing on one thing and doing a ton of it. So thank you for the lessons and the motivation, Alex.